Hey guys, welcome back. It's the time you guys been waiting for so long. I've wanted to bring this back as a live stream, but really the weight's been killing me. My cam's not working, and I gotta get some other stuff set up for the live stream. So the guy that put my computer together is coming back to help me set that stuff up. So that's why I didn't record that first and foremost, because I wanted to bring this back as a live stream, but the wait is killing me. So now the wait's over, and we're gonna record our very first episode of Grand Tactician in 4K. As you can see, the UI is just absolutely massive because I can afford to do that now with my current PC. And I kind of like it that way, to be honest. It's easy to find armies, etc. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it so that we don't order weapons without me saying so. Okay. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with the policies and the economics and everything else. Let's do projects first. I want to make sure that gets unchecked because I don't want them researching something I don't want to research right now. Economics gonna get unchecked because I want to control that myself. We're gonna defund agriculture, and you're gonna see a lot of the same stuff from the masterclass incorporated in this campaign. In the previous Let's Play that we had to cut short because of the hardware switch, well, this time we're not cutting it short, guys. We're gonna try and go all the way through this campaign. And it's going to get bad because I've actually been in chapter 3 and it gets very, very, very bad very, very quickly, to be honest. And so, just a forewarning there that it is going to get less than optimal for the Confederacy, but I'll do the best I can. First policy that we researched from the policy tree is going to be Militia Act 1. Then we'll do money to the military. Then I'll go into industry and etc. etc. Okay, let's get this going at maximum. Well, actually, we don't want to do that yet. I have to front load the industry. Thanks to the newspaper, I almost forgot about that. However, guys, we're going to do this a little bit different here. I'm not going to do as big as a footprint as I did before and see if we can still get that standardization 6 for the Springfield Rifle-Musket. Okay? Because if we can, then I'd like to spend as little money as possible and just essentially rely on the private sector for the majority of the rest of the issue. So I'm gonna try to minimize our footprint. As a matter of fact, I'm only going to do Macon and Alabama, Montgomery. Okay? That's pretty much all I'm gonna do. We're gonna have 3 foundries and probably 1 ironworks that we don't already have. So I'm gonna place this into Montgomery, and then I will also place a ironworks in Montgomery as well. And that's all we're gonna do for industry right now. But for the time being, we're just gonna let the game ride now. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I kinda like the big the big UI, dude. And we are also, let me show you guys what resolution we're actually on. So you guys can actually see this for yourself. I'm going to bring up the menu here and I'm going to show you the specs and all that. So you can see we're on 2560 by 1080, 200 hertz. We got the quality on high I mean, we got everything cranked up here, guys. So I don't know what the battle's gonna be like. I know Grand Tactician is not the greatest graphical game, but I think we are gonna see a difference. That being said, let's just continue with the game here. UI was kind of too big on that. Anyway, as I was saying, if we can still get the Springfield Rifle-Musket to the Standardization 6 by April, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two 10,000 piece orders right off the bat. And the reason for that is that I discovered that you actually can do that. Okay? If the standardization on your Springfield Rifle-Musket is 6, like the last campaign, you can actually order 10,000 pieces right off the bat. And what that allows you to do is, yes, you wait a little bit longer, there's no question about it. But it allows you to supply both the Eastern Theater and the Western Theater with rifle muskets, not necessarily very quickly, but relatively quickly, completely. Okay? And that's the one thing I stumbled upon in the last campaign that we cut short. So you're going to see something that I normally would not advise it to happen. Okay? But since the Springfield Rifle-Musket is the way it is, you can actually do that if you have Standardization 6 on it. Okay? So now I'm going to go into the next policy, which is going to be honestly money to the military. We're going to get through to that, and then we'll be putting 25 million in for the military. I'm also going to put some project points into the logistics system modifier. That way we're not paying as much for soldiers. But we had quite the nice run last time, and I will tell you guys that 1863 gets very, very bad. It's terrible. That's kind of why I put the campaign on hold until we got the rig that we're on now, because I started to realize I'm like, I'm not completing this campaign before I switch hardware. So that's why I put this game on hold. And Beauregard is down in South Carolina, and it's just a waiting game at this point, guys. It's nice though because we still have an A minus for credit rating. So if we can achieve that standardization 6 on the rifle musket, like I said, then that is just gonna be even better because our credit system is going to be in a better state than it already has been in previous campaigns. Because honestly, I would like to rely on the private sector as much as possible, to be honest, and just maintain as much of my credit as possible, if that makes sense. And that way it won't downgrade as fast if you catch my meaning. I'm not saying we had a terrible situation in the first place, but we didn't have the best in the world. I don't think that Springfield's gotta be much longer. No, we got one entire circle, and then maybe in half. Money to the military, okay. Now at this point, we're going to get the administration reform, and we should get the rifle musket pretty early because of the fact that we're putting 25 million in now. Next, we want to do industry one. There we go. I almost forgot to do that, which put us a little bit behind, but that's all right. We'll get through it. We'll get through that. I'm not too worried about it. Okay, our industry is now completed. How much longer until that Springfield rifle musket is done? Okay, it does not have long at all. So I'll tell you what, guys, we're gonna just put it on 5 times from now until we get this thing. And then I'll put it in the works and see what our standardization on it is. We have to be very, very close to being doing that. It can't be long at all. I mean, seriously. No, we're about to get the thing. Okay. Now we're gonna unlock the Springfield Rifle-Musket. I'm going to wait 24 hours before we implement this. Okay? Because it might take 24 hours for it to. Well, first off, I'm going to check it, and then 24 hours, I'm going to check it again. And if it remains the same, that means we need more industry than what we're putting in. Standardization 0 right now. Okay, so let's just wait 24 hours and see what we get. It is April 7th now. Okay, so I'm going to just wait 24 hours and see what's going on. Then we'll check it again, and if it's standardization 6, then I'll order 10,000, okay? Okay, now let's go check on the Rifle-Musket here. Yes, so we just saved ourselves a bunch of credit from minimizing our industry expansion that we can just leave off to the private sector at this point. So that is absolutely fantastic. Again, we are going to do 10,000 and it's 55 days, 0.7. Not bad for 10,000. At least, especially at the first order. That is not bad at all. I'll take that all day. Now we just wait for them to tick up, guys. I mean, that's all we do. We sit and wait for the next chapter now. Knock out a bunch of these as fast as we can. And that's going to actually help our standardization grow faster because they'll be working on it for a longer period of time. Then the next 10,000 will be even cheaper, actually. And then after the second round, we'll go into 25,000. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start to recruit. I'm going to start with the Army of Tennessee. And I think what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go with a 4-division stack for the infantry at least. And the others can be 3 because we use infantry more than anything else. But we do use a lot of artillery as well. But I don't think that necessarily needs to be 4 divisions worth, just like the infantry. I just don't see it. 9,000 men here, 9,000 men here, and then 9,000 men there, and then 9,000 men here. That's 4 divisions, and I think what we'll do is we'll break off and we'll just maybe go with 3 artillery brigades here. Well, not brigades, but divisions. I'm going to wait a couple of days before I recruit again, just because we kind of recruited quite a bit there after I get the Army to see where it needs to be. So we're just going to go boom, boom, and boom. And then for the cavalry, I'm just going to do 2 brigades, 1 division, because we don't need a lot of cavalry as of right now, especially early game, don't really need it. They're kind of crappy to begin with. How many men is that? That's the 37,000 men altogether. Okay, but how much infantry is that? I think it's like 30,000 or something. Because 3 divisions, 9 down is 9,000 each is 27,000. Okay, so these armies are a lot more beefier than they were before, but I'm gonna wait a couple of days before we start again and recruit. I know that, you know what though? I think what we should do is at least do the army of Shenandoah at the same time, if we can, because that's a focal point army. It's where it is, and I don't want to have them be, not have troops or anything. So we'll see if we can't do these two armies and then call it a day. Okay, so we have 9,000 goes for this division. What I might actually do is just get 9,000 for infantry divisions, and then a couple of days from now we'll recruit for everything else. I think that's what I'm gonna do, guys. Yeah, we have to. So right now, Joseph Johnson has 27,000. Okay, so we're gonna wait a few days and let our recruitment come back. I am gonna sit on, you know, 20 times for a little bit though. Dude, what happened to like the squares here, bro? Bro, what happened here? Is it because we're on such a high level detail or something? Hold on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's because we're on such a high quality graphic level. I'm almost guaranteed, like, that's what it feels like right now. I've never seen it on super high quality, guys. So that's kind of why I'm a bit confused here. Can we get, well, actually, let me just check on our manpower right now. Okay, we have 25,000. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna wait just a little bit longer here because we need to recuperate what we're not pulling in. I know I need to build an army in Shenandoah pretty quick here, but we need to just let the recruitment officers do their thing for a bit. The Army of Tennessee just took all of that. Which, don't get me wrong, it's 37,000 men, so I shouldn't be surprised, but and that is kind of, it's a good thing for them because they have a lot of strength, but at the same time, it's a bad thing because right now the Winchester, Virginia is just completely undefended right now, and that really is not great. I'm gonna move the Army Missouri State Guard down to the Confederacy before it gets being too late here. Usually, I have him guard Arkansas, so that's what I'm gonna do. Have him come down here and guard Arkansas for us. I'm gonna check where manpower's at. Okay. It is going up from what I can tell, but man, it's gonna take a while. Okay. Union just got money to the military, so we're ahead on that front. Okay. How much longer until our industry policy is complete? Okay. We got 1.7 days left on that. Okay. So that's going to help that Confederate industry. Now, what is the next policy I want to do? I want to get contract number 2 for 2-year contracts just because this would help us with our manpower to begin with and how fast it goes up. But I do want to try and at least get one more division for the Army of the Shenandoah if I can. I'm not sure if it's going to let me do it though, but we can try. No, it is not going to let me do that, so we might be waiting for a while. I don't think the Army of Shenandoah will be completely defenseless, but I'm hoping we can get enough men in there before they decide that they want to hit that place there. Because if they hit Joseph Johnson in the state that he's in right now, we're going to have to retreat. There's no getting around it. But we'll see how things shake out here. We have 13,000. We have about a month to wait until the complete order is complete. The more we can have, the better off we're gonna be. The more we can issue at one time. I'm gonna see what else we got in terms of projects here. We're about to get artillery cast, which is gonna be extremely helpful. Nothing special just yet. I might be able to get the 2-year contracts before they hit us, and then I might be able to. Yeah, that's most definitely a graphical change. They're not using like the Hearts of Iron style markers anymore. They're just canceled flags. That's crazy to really think about. I'm gonna get the artillery cast going. Okay, we got that going. I'm gonna get the Napoleon and the James rifle into production here. I really like the UI change for the high graphics, but it's a little confusing because I've played with the other symbols for so many years. Like, I got this game when it first came out, pretty much. So I'm definitely not used to the high graphic, like resolution stuff. But that really makes me curious as to what these battles will look like. I don't expect too much, but it really, really makes me curious. Okay, I'm gonna get some Napoleons cranking out here. We're gonna start with a 78 piece, 73-day 8-piece order. Once I do this a couple of times, then we will start to increase to a 16-piece order. I'm gonna do the same thing to the James rifle that is going to be put in place as well. How much longer do we got until this 2-year contract? Okay, we're about halfway done with it, which puts us at 13 days, so about 2 weeks until we're done with that, guys. This is really edgy though, because I think I made a mistake by putting a fourth division in there that quickly. I just wanted to bolster the ranks a little bit more than usual. That's all I wanted to do, and man, it's just something I never. Yeah, see, it's a UI change. That's kind of phenomenal, to be perfectly honest. Figures. Figures they wouldn't attack the Army of Tennessee. Heck no. This is not great because we don't even have any artillery. And this is terrible. They're gonna take Winchester right off the bat. Man, this is bad. Well, I mean, and that's what you get for being stupidly. Can we actually do this right now? No, we still don't have enough. Holy crap. So yeah, they're gonna take Winchester and Alexander right quick here. This really sucks. This really stinks. Because well maybe we can recruit at least some artillery for the Army of Shenandoah. And I'm not saying we're gonna get it before the guy shows up because we probably won't. But at least he will have his artillery ready to go when he's ready to actually fight. Yep, we can definitely do that, of course. I don't know why I didn't do that right off the bat. I was freaking stupid. And then we'll give him his 4th Infantry Division a little bit later. That's a little frustrating because I wasn't freaking using my head, but whatever. We all play dumb sometimes, I guess. I really should have just given him the artillery he needed right off the bat. Instead, I didn't do that. And now I'm putting the campaign in a very, very bad position here. Right off the stinking bat. Oh boy. We're about to get 2 years, so we're a little bit ahead on them. We do have less manpower than they do, though. That's the thing about it. I can probably arrange it so we don't, but. And they just took Alexander, of course. That's alright, though. At least they retreated from, what's it called? Winchester. So that's gonna buy me a little bit of time to get his army in place. I can't believe I was that dumb. I think I just wanted to knock out the infantry and make sure everybody had their 4 divisions before anything happened. But it just never crossed my mind. I apologize for that, guys. I wasn't using my head here. We should be about done with the UI for the armies now is a little bit strange. You almost can't click on it using the map. You gotta click on the actual army tab, which is alright. It's just something that we're gonna have to get used to, I guess. I hope we get 2-year contracts soon here. I really do, because this kind of sucks because I screwed up so bad. Yeah, we're gonna get it very, very soon. In about 1.3 days. Okay, that's gonna help. And then I think I'm gonna go right into 3-year contracts. And then we'll crank out the industry here after that. 2 invading armies. Where? Okay. So now we got 2-year contracts. And we have an army, a Union army, right near Jackson. Okay. So he's kind of going around our flank, which is not great. Oh man. The beginning of the campaign for the Confederacy is always kind of bad, dude. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna let the game go by for a little bit so that we can get, the manpower laws implemented and all that kind of stuff. Which reminds me, I want to go into 3-year contracts right off the bat, and then we'll just knock out the rest of the industry policies, etc. That kind of sucks, though, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna take the Army of Shenandoah, okay, and say that I want his 4th Division at this point to be recruited. So, because at this point, I know we have the men to actually do it. So, we're going to get 3,000 each, 9,000 per division. And there is his 4th division. Everything else, we're going to sit and wait for a little bit so we're not draining manpower. Okay. But we do not have an army of 68,000 at this point. Mostly in the Army of Tennessee, obviously, but that's not a bad start to the campaign. We're kind of in a bad situation right now, but it's not exactly terrible. It's getting close to the end of our first episode here, guys. So I'm gonna end it right here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I know it's the beginning, guys. The beginning's always dry. But before I go here, I do want to check on those musket orders because it should be getting close. Yep, see? Alright. So now we have to deal with that. Because now the Union has Corinth, Mississippi. So we're going to have to eventually deal with that. I don't know when and I don't know how currently. But you've seen these previous campaigns we've done, and we've done very, very well. So, let me check on this rifle order. And if we only have a few days, I might just let that first 10,000 piece order actually ride through before we quit. 18,000? Yes, we only have 5 days actually. You know what, guys? I think we're going to complete this order in the next episode and go into our next 10,000 piece order and go from there. So, if you guys like what you see thus far, I know we got 3 armies in our territory, but really there's not much we can do about that right now. God bless you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.